Look at them all coming in.
Rocking up. Hello.
Yay.
Hey, everybody.
Yay! It's that time again. Happy hour
Absolutely.
hangout.
For sure, and it's great to have all of you here. I'm sure more people are going to be. There we go. Good, good.
Yeah, they're just piling in. Look at them go. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it's good to have some familiar faces and a couple of new names as well. Always, yeah, very, very cool.
Yeah, look at all the happy hearts. Love the happy hearts.
Aww.
Good way to start off. Look.
Aww. Well, welcome to it, ladies and gents. Welcome to the bi-monthly HODLNOTS Happy Hour Hangout. This is episode number 34. Can you believe it? And it's great to be here. And as per usual, we've got some fun educational stuff happening here on the 4-H sessions, a little bit of edutainment, as they call it. And today's theme is all about yay or nay. Now, if you have a look around the studio, there are a couple of little interesting pairs. A little bit of a segue from the last episode, but a little bit of pairs, but it's more the yes or the no, the yay or nay. Which would you prefer? And there's a bunch of things going on around us and in front of us. What's going on there with you, Wendy?
Oh, I'm a happy camper. You could not have done me any better. We're going to say yay, yay, yay. We've got a chili margarita, chili peppers, jalapenos, yes, yes, yes. And we have spicy homemade, looks like hot sauce, dipped in dip, potato dip. Oh, I couldn't be happier. You? How was your selection going for you?
Well, I mean, for me, it's I don't mind, but life is all about balance, and sometimes that's having a glass of wine in each hand, and even if it's two different ones. And I think today, considering the weather outside, the way I'm feeling, I think I'm probably leaning more towards the reds. It looks like a little bit of a Pinot Noir. But Wendy, in front of you, you've got two different options there, though, to go with your little salsa dip. Do you see the differences there?
I do. We have either potato chips or corn chips, I think. If it's salsa in the dip, now that it matters on the dip, to be truly honest, because I love both of them. But if we're having salsa, I really, really prefer the corn chip.
What?
But if we're having, absolutely, the corn chips, the toasted corn chips are the way to go with salsa. But if it is a dip, kind of like USA Party dip, or if we're having queso, chili, cheese dip, I kind of like potato chips with that. So I'm funny that way.
Okay, well,
everybody else with us?
Yeah, a couple of people are celebrating that along with you. But it is that yay or nay in terms of the salsa or corn chips. Badger, have you figured out what your yay or nay options are?
I don't know if it's coconut water or coconut and water, or I see it looks like a beer, so that'll always go down well. And then, like, between me and you, I see we've got a slice of pizza there. What do you call it? Like one of those age-old
questions and
questions.
Yes, it is. Many arguments over this. Exactly. So everyone in the chat,
yes,
let's see it in the chat.
Is
so
it
pizza and pineapple, yay or nay?
Yep. Yeah, it's a great little warm-up for today's section, actually, because we're actually going to have quite an interactive session today for all of you. Of course, it remains anonymous unless say your name out loud. Jeffrey's definitely on the money. So is it a yay or is it a nay for pineapple?
Ooh,
okay. So far, the yays are leading. I'm going to throw my yay.
Yay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I won't tell what side of the fence I'm on.
You people with the hot fruit.
I'm a nay as well.
No, there's a time and a place for pineapple, but that's not on my pizza. Sorry, I'm a nay. Put me on the nay group.
So
over here.
You're against warm fruits on pizza, is that right?
Not my favorite. Yeah, a warm fruit in general. It's just weird.
I don't know. I don't know.
So I don't
what are those blue and red
like
things?
apple pies or any warm fruit. I'll be.
I know somebody else like that with warm fruit, but I love apple pie. goodness.
Okay, well, to each their
Pineapple
own.
on pizza with kiwi. Oh my goodness gracious. Who
That
is
No.
who is
interesting.
that, by the
Yeah.
way?
I
Who's
wonder.
anonymous at the
Throw,
moment?
throw them
'Cause
off the
that's
call.
kiwi on pizza.
That's
That
why they
would be
went anonymous as
interesting.
well, because we don't know who it is. Cheeky.
Exactly.
I don't
Wow, they
know.
got a lot of yays on pizza. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Listen, we don't want
Interesting.
to
I
end
know
up.
who you are.
We don't want to end up hate. Be nice to them, all right? At least they're participating. It's fantastic. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, listen, we don't want to end, break relationships here and, get into fights about pizza or not pizza. It's a personal preference, but it is the nature of today's show, really. It's all the yays and the nays. We've obviously got between myself and Wendy on the shelf there. We've got, somebody was also asking about the blue and the red pills. Anybody know the reference there? Anybody?
I was wondering if they were M&Ms or if they were pills. Take the red pill or the blue pill.
Yeah, from
Mhm.
where? What is the
Oh,
reference?
it's a movie. There's a movie. It's a movie.
Which one?
I don't remember the name. I just know it was a good movie.
A couple of people. There we go. A couple of Australians, Canadians got it. We've got South Africans getting it.
Thank you, Jeffrey, for clarifying that.
Yes. All right. So definitely nice reference there. And then we've got a couple of other things. So as you know, you can see it's Yay
Wow.
Day today. It's even Barney's in attendance there with you, Vicky. And we've got a big old B there, old Bitcoin. And that's what we're going to be chatting about today as well, along with a Yay or Nay session. And we've got a whole bunch of HODLNOTS and a whole bunch of other people who aren't. And we love that because we want to be able to give you guys and girls a little bit of a teaser as to what we teach and how you're able to make these decisions, whether or not you get into trades. And it doesn't matter whether you're scalping or it doesn't matter whether you're getting into long-term trades, whether it be on the 1 hour or the 1 day with Bitcoin, etc., which we're all obviously waiting for. And that is part of what we're chatting about today is the Bitcoin dominance, which we'll get to shortly, and some of the other factors that influence the crypto market. Because everyone's like, oh yeah, Bitcoin's going to go, and you see it all over social media. But there are a whole bunch of things that do play a large role in that. We'll be chatting about that shortly. But I think to kick off, Badger, let's have a quick look at what's been cracking on in the den despite Bitcoin going sideways over the last forever.
Forever. Good answer.
Okay, let's have a look. Can everyone see my screen? Yeah, okay. So over the last 2 weeks, the first week, or the first of these 2 weeks were a little bit slower than normal, but last week was very exciting. So let's have a look. So we had a couple of trades here, looking at the coins. There were a whole variety. CVP again was fairly popular. There was almost 10% trade on CVP, 2.5%, 2%. Then there was a coin that I don't know. This looks like to be a little bit of a longer trade, 19 minutes, still 5%, which is great. 3% in 3 minutes, nice quick trade, good profits for 3 minutes, like 180 seconds. That's not a lot of your time to grab 3% there. Here was another percent per minute type trade, 12% in 13 minutes, 2% in 48 seconds. There's a 3% on a short, so someone shorted there. So some of our members are now short scalping down. That's also quite nice to see. There was 6% on LQTY, another 6% on DTech. Actually, not too bad if you think about it. Then the week ending the Sunday, you can see there was some bigger profits. The market was
Wow.
quite nice. So there was a 34% trade. Remember, these are mostly scalping. So these are all in minutes, let's say 1 minute up until maximum probably 15 minutes if a coin runs fairly well. Some of them might be multiple entries, just grabbing smaller pieces and adding them together. But as you can see, this week was a lot better in terms of the percentages. So there was 11%. So what you'll often see someone say ninja scalps. A ninja scalp refers to either a very, very quick scalp or a little bit of a risky scalp. So someone grabbed almost 5% on GUSDT. So that was quite cool. There was another 5%, odd 6.5%, 5%. Grabbed another 5%. Here was a 7% of another coin, 6%. Here was 6% in 44 seconds. So that was essentially an ninja scalp as well.
Amazing.
And then another 6%. So yeah, just a few of the trades that stood out in the den. And yeah, it was a good week altogether.
Well, that's the beauty of it, and we're actually going to be getting into some of these ninja scalps and actual trades in our Yane session a little later. But before we get to that, I've just seen Bitcoin's been retesting again up to about 61,000 and been heavily rejected. And as much as we have various indicators, the HODLNet, the HODL Fire, to look at these and look for pivot bottoms and understand timeframes, there are a lot of other things actually that play a role. We talk about whales quite often, and we've seen there are a couple of companies and even banks I've seen recently. I don't know if you guys have seen the news that some of the large banks in the States and Europe have been accumulating Bitcoin, and they have a lot of money. But there are a whole bunch of other factors that influence the crypto market. We've seen a whole bunch of things. Anything come to mind there, Wendy, Vicky, Marcel?
Absolutely. I got a list of them. You want me to do the whole list?
Yeah. I think for me, the election comes to mind first in the States. So that's probably on your list, Wendy, though. So
it
is.
Go for it. That's a big one. That's a really big one.
So why is the election having a big role? Pretend I'm stupid and I don't know anything. Why is the election having a big role?
Wow, lots of reasons. Because everybody knows that USA has been the current government has been against Bitcoin and doing everything they can to stop Bitcoin. While a lot of people don't know it, but the USA is the largest government that has the largest amount in holdings of Bitcoin out of any country. And yet they are against Bitcoin because they fear, because they can't control it. So that's basically what the problem is they fear Bitcoin because they believe it's going to tank the US dollar and it's going to take over and they can't control it. So they don't want anybody in the USA to have any of it. However, the big election comes in play because we have one presidential candidate who is pro-crypto and one that won't even discuss it. So this will play a big part of the future of Bitcoin because if basically one of the information things, so everybody knows Trump is in the running, but there's a lot of undecisiveness about what's going to happen with Trump and in light of his indictment and everything else that's coming up, and actually whether he wins or not. But if he wins, he is not afraid of Bitcoin. We need a president in the USA who is pro-crypto. Whoever it is, they need to be pro-crypto for us to continue. And he is telling everybody that he is wanting to take Bitcoin and create a strategic national Bitcoin stockpile, basically, under his administration, and keep 100% of all the Bitcoin that they do have and hold it for the future. And they are actually going to peg the dollar with it. So basically use it instead of being afraid of it. Now, everybody knows the ETFs, that all the financial institutions now already realize that Bitcoin is a reliable financial asset. So now they have all these ETFs trading around the place, and they're not going to just stop it overnight. So it makes a big deal about if you get somebody in a leadership position there that doesn't like Bitcoin and stops it and doesn't have anything to do with it, that's going to affect the market for everybody that's in cryptocurrency. So yeah, there's a lot of talk about that. That's just one thing. Another is Bitcoin dominance, which I think Marcel is going to tell us more about why that's so important. And so, that's a big factor as well. I have other things, but
yeah, there are.
Over to you.
Just looking at, Anton just dropped in there as well. Elon Musk, there's a lot to do with social media and social media influence as well. We see what's happening over in Europe, in the UK, where there's political turmoil, where there's even with the Japanese yen and them correcting their interest rates and stuff, and how that had such a huge knock-on effect. I mean, Bitcoin dropped down to 49,000. And as much as
Yeah, that was a scare. With Japan, it was the biggest dive in stocks since 1987, and that happened on Monday. And then the very next day, they rebounded to a record high, and they had the largest gain since 2008. So why does this happen? It's because the company's currency was weakening. So they went from a $6 trillion up to a $1.1 trillion value loss just in a matter of 3-day period. So there was a lot of fears around Japan's decline of their interest rates and so forth, because the rising Japanese interest rates was creating fear. There was fear around a slowing U.S. economy and the crumbling tech stocks. They all combined to create that crash, but they also rebounded. So keep that in mind, that it was just a fluke. But it did, again, the world events. And this is why Marius keeps up to date with all of that, because they do affect the price of Bitcoin.
Absolutely. And while we're all waiting for Bitcoin to bounce off and then start taking off again, that could be delayed because there could be a number of things that happen in the political space, in the social space, and a couple other things. But one of the things that you did mention, and Marcel, maybe we can get into this, is Bitcoin dominance. And we hear about this. We hear, Nico and Marius talking about it on occasion. But what does it really mean for like the crypto industry, but specifically, obviously, these altcoins that we trade? Because we like the volatility in altcoins. Bitcoin, yeah, we know it moves, and a lot of people do trade it and hodl it and everything else, whether it be Ethereum and ADA. But like, what does it really mean for altcoins, and when altcoins are going to run again?
I don't know. No, I'm joking.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
basic-
See you next week.
So basically,
That was good. Good, Marcel.
if we look at the crypto market, we've got Bitcoin and then basically the rest, which is the altcoins. Even Ethereum is classified as an altcoin. So if you look at the term Bitcoin dominance, is basically the percentage of money that's invested in Bitcoin in relation to the percentage of money that's invested in the altcoins. So if you take, let's for instance say there was $100 million invested in the total market. That's just a phony number, phony value, and 55 million of those were Bitcoin. Then Bitcoin would be 55% of the market, just to make the math a little bit easier. So when that goes up or down, it's seen as a drop in dominance or an increase in dominance. So basically what it means is if Bitcoin dominance goes higher, it means that the larger portion of your total money in crypto is in Bitcoin or is flowing to Bitcoin. And that's basically suggesting that it's becoming more popular. Bitcoin is becoming more popular than altcoins. And the reverse is also true. When Bitcoin dominance goes down, it shows us that the popularity of the altcoins are increasing. So what I think I can do, I can share my chart. So there's a chart on TradingView that you can pull up, where you'll see on the price scale on the right-hand side, it will show percentages rather than pricing. Because remember, we're talking about a ratio now. Bitcoin dominance is a ratio. The ratio between Bitcoin and the rest of the altcoins. So this is a weekly chart. This is across probably about 4 or 5 years that you can see here. Obviously, if you look way back to where Bitcoin started, you can see that the dominance was almost 100% because there was very little altcoins. And when the altcoins started increasing and then some of the money flowed into the altcoins, we had this drop in the dominance of Bitcoin. Up until a point where at one stage, Bitcoin dropped to about 35%, where the other 65% was of the money in the total crypto market was in altcoins. So we have this up and down. So this is a monthly chart. So just to show you everything at once. So when we get this where the Bitcoin dominance increases, it can affect the altcoin and the market in a certain way. Remember, when dominance increases, not necessarily that the Bitcoin price is increasing. So what I will do is, let me just do this. Okay, so if you have a look now, I'm just going to change this back to weekly. If you look on the left-hand side, this is basically the Bitcoin dominance chart in the weekly chart. And on the right-hand side, you've got Bitcoin, the actual Bitcoin chart. So you'll see that they don't really look alike. That's because the dominance is the ratio between the altcoins and Bitcoin. And the actual Bitcoin chart is the price of Bitcoin. So this is in dollars and this is in percentages. So when Bitcoin dominance goes up and Bitcoin's price goes up, it's a good sign to get into Bitcoin, because then it's an indication that all the money is flowing into Bitcoin. So everyone is trusting Bitcoin and they see value in Bitcoin. But when Bitcoin dominance drops and Bitcoin price also increase, then that's an indication that even though Bitcoin is going up, the dominance, the ratio is flowing into the alts, which that is when we see what they call the alt season, when everyone starts investing into the alts. And basically, that is when traders start diversifying their portfolios and moving money from Bitcoin into altcoins that they perceive as being better value or looking for more profit, etc. So what we see in this dominance chart currently, if you look at that, you can see we had that steep drop. So if you were to just draw a trend line here, just a rough trend line, what you would see is you'll see this triangle. And what we suspect is going to happen is it's going to break down here somewhere. So somewhere here, it's going to break down and Bitcoin dominance is going to drop. And when that happens, you will see an increase in the alts. Remember, it doesn't necessarily mean that the price of Bitcoin is going to come down. Bitcoin's price can still go up, but the dominance is getting to a point where it needs to break out of this triangle. Sorry, that's not the best trend lines. Let me just clean that up a bit. So we're expecting this to break down, yeah. And when that happens, we'll see the alts pop off, and that's when scalping is gonna become a whole lot more fun. So just to mention the flip side of the coin, when Bitcoin dominance goes up, but Bitcoin goes down, that's a problem, because that means most of the money is flowing into Bitcoin, even though the price is coming down. So that's basically when you can expect the altcoins to have a steep drop. So if you were to pull up these charts and want to use them for your trading, have a look, keep an eye on these two. If the dominance goes up and Bitcoin's price comes down, it's normally a sign that the alts are going to drop as well. Then, of course, there's other scenarios where the dominance goes up, and similar to what it's now, actually. The dominance is going up, but it's in a little bit of a sideways motion here. It's basically traders or accumulating Bitcoin. That's where we are now currently. So we're waiting for this to drop, and then that to go up. And then another scenario is basically where the dominance drops and Bitcoin drops. That's obviously a sign that the entire market is coming down. But that is not something that we want to see. So yeah, in terms of Bitcoin dominance, what we anticipate is this to drop, and then our altcoins to start popping off. And the way in which we you'll be able to identify this. We'll see that a large portion of the altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. That will be sort of like the confirmation of that happening.
So I've got a question, Marcel, for you on that. I mean, that's really, really handy information. Now we see as scalpers, we check our watch list every single day, and we see, you know, whether the market's green or not, and you can see, you know, a vast number of the coins in green and above 10%, and then, you know, the alts are running. But looking at the market cap Bitcoin dominance, would you recommend keeping on, let's say, a weekly chart, or is it like a daily thing? Because you want to see a confirmed trend, right?
For scalping, I think these look, the Bitcoin dominance is not like the only indicator that you should use for your trading. Let's just get that out of the way. Some of these Bitcoin related charts that we look at, I would probably look at them on a slightly higher time frame, even though you might be a minute scalper or 50-minute scalper. Yes, it does help looking at Bitcoin when we scalp on the lower time frames. But in terms of the dominance and the actual direction of the market, I would say rather have a look on the higher time frames, because it just paints a little bit of a bigger picture what's happening. Obviously, this is over a very large, and this is about 3 years. But and you can look at it on the daily, but I wouldn't necessarily go lower than that in terms of the Bitcoin dominance. So you'll have the same sort of picture here. So we are anticipating this to come to an end. Somewhere it's gonna hopefully break down, and then when that happens, remember when it breaks up. Let me just make this slightly smaller. If this breaks up and it continues up for a couple of candles on this chart, let's look. If, let's for instance, this happens and it goes sideways, it might be like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 months that it's going down and the alt's going up. So that is one thing that we're looking for, and I don't think it's necessary to look at lower time frames on the dominance chart.
That's fantastic. That really gives, hopefully everybody that's on the call, you guys can pop it in the Q&A down below. If you learn something new about Bitcoin dominance and how it affects, you know, us as traders trading the altcoins obviously being alternative to Bitcoin, and whether you're a scalper or you're a day trader or otherwise. That's a really good observation. We might even have a comment.
One thing I can add, John.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Like this section here, you see where it dropped here in 2017. So the infamous alt season that we had over that period was when this Bitcoin dominance dropped here. So that is basically what we want. We want this to happen, because then we can have an alt season that lasts a year long. Because if we have that, as scalpers, from our point of view, that's like having your birthday every day for a year.
Well, that's definitely what we're looking forward to seeing at some point. We know that the dominance has been up for a while, but as soon as it starts dropping, it's going to be go time. Speaking of go time, Kyle, if you'd like to, you popped your hand up. Let's hear, you can unmute yourself and drop in your comments there.
Hey, y'all.
Hey,
Kyle. How are you?
Good.
Hey, it's my Texas, y'all. Love it.
Oh man, yeah, no, it's good to see the really far zoomed out chart with the Bitcoin dominance, and it made me kind of wonder, you know, so we went from 100% down in 2017 and 18, and then it's creeping back up to whatever it is now, 55. You know, and I'm wondering if, as we get all these altcoins, if that could drop low again to below 35, or, you know, if
imagine.
It's all speculation, I guess, but wondering the range that we're going to get in dominance as the market matures.
See, there's different things affecting it. So even in the rate at which altcoins are launched currently. So if you basically the altcoin pool is increasing daily. Obviously, there's coins being delisted as well, so that also has an effect. But the rate at which altcoins are being minted obviously also has an effect. And like Wendy mentioned, market trends and news and other global economic events, regulatory changes, all of that will affect it. I don't really. I'm not an analyst, but I would really not see Bitcoin going below 35%. It's
I hope so.
Unless there's other very well performing, like the top 10 altcoins maybe.
Yeah.
But
I guess because as more money flows in and Bitcoin goes down to 35%, if we're going from 1 trillion market cap to 2 trillion market cap, or that's just that much more money in the entire crypto market that we get to see adoption is my hope.
Yeah, look, the dominance can go down, but the capital in Bitcoin can still increase. So exactly. So I doubt that Bitcoin is. I doubt that there'll ever be a Bitcoin killer, if that sums it up. But it needs to drop for us to have that altcoin run.
Yeah, I remember when I first got into crypto, Badger, Bitcoin dominance was sitting at like between 40 and 46%. And obviously it's shifted, it's gone up again. But if anything, I don't think it's ever going to drop down to 35 again necessarily. I think it probably won't drop down below 40, even 45. But I mean, from up where it is currently 55, 57, wherever it is, coming down a fair bit. When it starts coming down, those altcoins are going to run because money is flowing from Bitcoin into the alts. And it'll be for a while. I reckon it will be for quite some time. Even if there's more money being pumped into Bitcoin and Bitcoin reaches 100,000 plus, the altcoins are going to run as well, because people know that there's really good money to be made in that. I think majority of traders really are in the alts. I think it's we do see a lot of the big investors and the big corporates that are buying into Bitcoin, a lot of ETFs and everything else. But I think there's vast majority, because there are literally thousands of different altcoins, and there's some good money behind, like you said, Marcel, the top 10. There's your Solanas, your ADAs, your Ethereums, and everything else. But Marcel, thank you for that very comprehensive explanation of Bitcoin dominance and how it affects the alts. Very, very cool. Hopefully a bunch of you have learned some things around that. So if any of you have any other questions and anything at all, please feel free to use the Q&A section down below. We're going to get into a little quick fire in the next, call it 15 minutes or so. And we've got a bunch of HODLNOTS on the call, and we've got a bunch of people who are trading higher time frames. And we see you. What we're going to do behind the scenes, we're going to split you guys into two different teams. All right. So we've got the HODLNOTS and we've got everybody else. So it's basically HODLNOTS versus the world. And what we'd like to do next is give you guys a little bit of a taste. So again, we've been keeping track of who's on the call. There are a bunch of you, which is amazing. So it is an interactive session. We won't name names, but what we'd like you guys and girls to do, I'm going to pull up a chart, and in the Q&A section down below, just type in there, yay or nay. Would you get into the coin or would you not? All right. And we can just going to have a look at it. We'll give every chart about 30 seconds. You guys make the decision. Everybody pop it in there. And we want to see, this isn't to like, you guys don't know what you're doing. And we do. This is more to show you that not only through our course, but through practice and the application, everything we teach, that you can actually make better entries, and whether it be a 1 hour time frame that you're getting in, or whether it be a day chart or even minutes as well. So we're going to have a look at that. Cool. So let's have a quick look, see here.
And I know there are a lot of HODLNOTS on this call. So there's a lot of both, actually. There's a lot of HODLNOTS and a few that are not HODLNOTS. They don't recognize the name, so they're wannabes. So I consider them all HODLNOTS. If they're wannabes, they're wannabes. Well, not yet. They had to do the course 13 September.
Yeah, they're not wannabes, but they are one dayers. As in one day they will be doing the course. I see. I'm not sure, Carlos. You keep on popping your hand up. If you have a question, keep it up, and we'll allow you to comment. But let's get into the section, which we fondly call yay or nay. So let's have a quick look at that. Cool. Let's share this. All right. So, ladies and gents. All right. So no saying it out loud, Wendy, whether or not you would or wouldn't. All right. So this is for everybody.
Okay, all right.
In the Q&A. Yeah, thank you. All right, ladies and gents, would you get into this coin, yay, or would you not, nay? Pop it in there. Let's have a look. We got a few popping up there. All right. We've got a couple of nays. We've got a couple of yays. We even got a nah. All right, I like that. That person saying I'm a HODLNOT wannabe. Yes, one day, hopefully. All right, so.
Okay, good.
Nays, yays. All right, so I presume, Vicky, you keeping tabs on
I am,
Team HODLNOT and Team One Day, or whatever we want to call them. We got a couple of yays. Okay, interesting. All right. It's interesting. Okay. So a bunch of you said yay, a bunch of you said nay. Let's have a look at actually what happened with this. All right, so I'll show you the previous one, and you can see these candles coming up to this section up here. And what actually happened was it went down. Now you might be wondering why. And again, while we're not going to explain all the various indicators that we use here, it's actually the HODLnator along with two others as well. But and this again could be Bitcoin on the 15-minute or the 1 hour actually right now, because that's what I'm looking at and that's what I see. But what actually happened was it didn't go up. All right. So which team got the point on that one there, Vix?
That was definitely HODLNOTS saying nay, because I think they recognize
Very
why
good.
it would be nay.
I'm happy.
Sure.
I'm happy. Yay,
yeah,
for HODLNOTS.
Good for HODLNOTS.
Okay.
Although I'm seeing 1 or 2 HODLNOTs. I'm not going to mention names.
There are 1 or 2 exactly that would have gotten in. One with a stop loss, which is that's a risky trade, guys. Gotta jump on Wendy's calls on Tuesday to find out why that's a risky trade.
Absolutely, absolutely. But there's a little thing here to actually giving you a good clue.
Yeah, that was tricky though, because there are conflicting indicators, and we go over that.
There's
because
one huge nay on this one though.
Correct.
All right.
There's more than one. There's more than one nay, but there are a few things that could have.
Sure, but yeah, you got to get past something.
This is what we practice.
Yeah. Okay. So this is all built in part of the HODLnator, and again, there are a multitude. There are 15 different indicators in the HODLnator, and they sometimes can be conflicting. But there has to be something that has to be quite pronounced for you to potentially get in. All right, we're not even going to talk about timeframes. This is looking as is. Here's the next one.
Oh, and one of our HODLNOTs just said exactly why they wouldn't get in, and she's correct.
Well done.
100%.
Well done.
Absolutely.
Well, there's part of that, and there's one other thing as well. But definitely. All right, to do with someone's favorite blue colored line. All right, next, let's have a look at the next one. Yay or nay? Pop it in the Q&A. I love it how it rhymes, right? Yay or nay? Interesting. We've got a few things to look at here.
This is also almost like the last one. Oh. We have a lot of yays from our HODLNOTs here as well.
Interesting.
Oh, we have 1 nay.
Hey, well done. Yeah.
Well done with the nay.
So again, this does tie in, this image that you guys and girls do see over here does tie in very similarly as to the previous image. And let's have a look at what did actually happen. It went down. All right. Yes.
Anyone want to figure it out? I'm not giving away the answers, but I want all those HODLNOTs. Excuse me. Actually, the HODLNOTs did not win this one because almost everyone said yay. So
yeah. Okay.
All right. I will have to admit that was a really tough one because almost all the indicators were a yay.
Well, I don't know. There's this one really long blue thing that just seems to dominate this entire thing, but I'm not going to get into that too. All right.
True.
And this is, again, we're not looking at time frames. We're not looking at anything else. We're looking at exactly what is here. So again, this is for all of you. These are things that we see, and to not take risky trades because, again, it could do that. So bear that in mind. There might be indicators that are saying yes, and yes, well, then there's a HODLNOT who's pointed it out. And no, Kyle. I hope you are. All right. Let's go. Next, yay or nay. Ready? Ooh. Let's see. Come on, HODLNOTS and everybody else. Oh, interesting. Somebody just said nay. We got some yays.
Yeah, I gotta have the time on that one. I need to know how much time I have on that candle.
This could be a day candle with another 23 hours. We don't know. I mean, this could be a 1 minute with 5 seconds to go. Either way, are you getting in with what you're seeing? Come on, when do you love your yay or nays? We got a couple of nays and a couple of yays. Ooh.
It's pretty exhausted in several things that we're not gonna give away.
Okay. All right. So we've got the answers in. We've got a couple of more yays in, a couple of more nays. Oh, I think the HODLNOTS are a bit split here. Let's see some of the all right. We've got yays and nays from non-HODLNOTS. All right, let's have a look at that. So just as reference, you see where this blue line is, you see this candle here. That's where the question was, and that's where this was, and it continued.
Absolutely rocking.
Okay. Right. There were a few things that you might have seen on the previous chart. I'll pull it up quick. That might have been a little bit worrying, a little something down over here. But generally, that had a nice little decent run, and it still continued up. So for those of you who said yay, well done, even if it was a guess or a little bit of gut instinct, or you've got some experience. All right, there's a comment. So these charts don't look like leverage trading charts. I saw on social media that I could learn to leverage trade. How can I do that? All right, Wendy, over to you.
Oh, okay. Well, that in particular, we are teaching leverage trading if you make it into the bear cave. So the reason why is because we have a very unique way of learning how to trade on leverage, but we don't have a course that teaches that. So what we are doing is you have to start off with HODLNOTS. After you master, you cannot learn how to do our leverage type of trading without mastering the HODLNOTS course. So once you take the HODLNOTS course, you enter into our 3M program, which gives you a master's, basically. You become an expert black bear trader. And when you make it through the 3M program, we teach and train you for free in the cave. So that's one wonderful way to do it. But yes, we are starting to do that. But even in the HODLNOTS course, we are now shorting the market, but not really on leverage. So we have to master how to trade safely with low risk, but we are teaching how to short the market at the same time on 1x. So hopefully that answers your question.
I think
these are not leverage trading. You have to master spot trading. You have to master how to read the indicators, and then it's game on. So I look forward to seeing you in the cave.
Well, absolutely. And this person's also asked, how long would that take where I could learn leverage trading?
Well, you can, it doesn't take very long at all once you master scalp trading. Once you master how to read these indicators and everything else, then I can teach you same day. You can make it into the cave if you want. It's one of these things that we don't want to teach people to do high risk, high leverage trading without mastering the fundamentals and the foundational way that we trade, because you can't do it without knowing what we do. So, and we also use the HODL fire as well. So we teach you how to read the HODL fire with your leverage trading, but it would really depend on your learning level. Everybody's different.
Absolutely. And we've seen, we actually have him on the call. We've had a couple of black bears come through the Money Masters challenge, and they've actually doubled and doubled. We know the story with, 6,150% odd percentage gain over a couple of months. One person did it in 3 months. And from that point, after having done the course and you've been in the den for a while, you'll join the Black Cave, and that's where everything goes. It's leverage trading, shorting, and a bunch of other things. So to be honest, I mean, you're probably looking at about 4 months, 5 months at the earliest kind of thing. But there are great tools along the way to be to make use of. We have the HODL Fire as well to be able to help get some of that passive income as well. We had somebody who was asking the other day, which do I do first? Do I learn to use the HODL Fire, or do I somehow save up money to do the course first? And that depends. I mean, the HODL Fire is a great way to be able to earn passive income. It's slow trading using those pivot bottoms and pivot tops. And then, if need be, you can then do the HODLNOTS Scalp Trading Foundational course, where you can actually understand higher time frame trading as well. Hey, Wendy?
Correct.
Beautiful.
Very, very good. Yeah.
Cool.
Alternatively, the other option is you can take a private course and you can get there faster. But you still have to take the course. You have to master the indicators, and you do have to give time for that.
Absolutely. All right, there are those options, and we'll touch on those in the next couple of minutes. Let's do one more yay or nay. All right, HODLNOTS and team, everybody else, are you ready? Let's have a look at this one. Yay or nay? Let's see. Okay. All right, I think people are learning. Ooh, we have a nay.
Yeah.
2 nays. Couple of yays. Ooh, it's gonna be an interesting one. Especially for those who understand the HODLnator and understand these indicators as part of it. There are a few interesting telltale signs. All right, so everybody's got their answers in. You guys are self-marking, and let's see what the result was.
Boom. I wanted to say, can I have that trade? And I had to keep my mouth shut.
So just as a reminder, that is what it looked like.
Definitely.
You can see, I'm not going to get into too much, but you can see that there was a little bit of build. There were 1 or 2 things just to be aware of, but nice spaces and a couple of other things moving up, and that is what the resulting trade was. So some really great examples, and again, this can be applied to scalp trading, not just through our course, but it's the part afterwards where you actually got to start practicing and putting into play. We haven't even touched on time frames, but this was just to give you guys and girls a visual idea as to the things that we know, the things that we see, the various indicators that we use in confidence with each other, and to be able to enter those trades safely, and then to be able to get out. And we didn't do the whole getting out of the coin. There are a couple of things that obviously we'll look at as well, but those little charts gave you a brief idea. And those were all 1-minute trades. Those were not 1-minute trades, 1-minute time frames, 1-minute charts. And I look at a bunch of coins on my watch list right now, and they're all shaping up beautifully and showing great promise to be able to get in. So that's exciting stuff. Thanks, team. Thanks, HODLNOTS, and thanks everybody else as well. Hopefully some of you learned something from that visual as well. Yeah, definitely. I think somebody says I'm gonna have to catch back on my training.
Absolutely. We're doing it fast and furious, and we just absolutely love it. Okay, I got another call coming up, so I'm gonna have to bow out.
That's fine. Quickly. We're also gonna wrap it here as well. Vicky, can you just summarize those dates again? We've got one other thing coming up later this month as well that you can mention.
There's actually quite a few people that have not done the course, and I think, not going to name names, I think we might need to do the course if we want to trade. So there is another course coming up on the 13th of September. And then we're actually having an AMA. So 2 weeks from today, we're not going to have a happy hour hangout. What we're going to do instead is an AMA. So we're going to invite anyone that wants to do the course onto this AMA, and we're going to answer all of your questions. So it'll be, a little bit what you just saw. Why should I do the course? How long is it? How long would it take to get to that leverage trading? If you'd like to do that, what is 1x? So, how do you do the course? How long does it take? So if you would like to do that, we're going to be putting them on all our socials, on all of the chats and Telegram. So please sign up and just tell everyone that you know to jump on the call as well. So that's in 2 weeks' time, on 28th.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. The link for...
Let's go.
What?
I said, let's go.
Yes, let's definitely
get people trained up and getting in abundance.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's been about abundance. It's been a great call. Marcel, thank you so much very much for explaining Bitcoin dominance and the weekly updates, and everybody else as well for the banter around the things influencing the crypto market. And yeah, remember, practice risk strategy. We know that a lot of you are waiting for Bitcoin to go up and the alts to go and Bitcoin dominance to come down so the alts run and you can get back to entry or take more profits, but do so safely. Reminder, the link for the next course, September 13th, is in the chat, not the Q&A, in the chat there for those of you who haven't done it. And again, 2 weeks time, we're going to be having that AMA. But awesome. Thanks, team.
Thanks, John. Thanks, ladies.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Thank you, Marcel, for that. For that dominance little lesson. That was really good. So thank you, John. I hope you get better really quick.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Make sure you keep that dominance in check. Until next time, 2 weeks time, we'll catch you all soon. Ciao, ciao.